Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. This is week 8 meals of my $23 grocery budget challenge. The way this challenge started is I decided to do $23 a week, starting with very basic ingredients that I considered free, some preserves I made myself, salt, pepper, oregano, parsley, and honey, as well as a multi-spice. I spent $23 that first week and I ate, and then anything that I had left over, I carried those groceries forward to the next week, and on and on and on until now. I'm at week 8. I'm still only spending the $23 cash, but I have a substantial amount of food that I have to supplement that $23 with, simply in my pantry. The goal is to show that a pantry is your number one key to eating well on a minimal budget. So if you can start building a pantry, you will have much more success at a variety of foods, and still stay with a lower budget because you'll be eating mostly from your pantry and things that are on sale, and you'll be restocking your pantry with items that are currently on sale. So check out the meals that we had this week. There was one night where we were not home. We were out for the evening. So missing one supper this week. The handsome one ate the majority of the meals with me. Again, we did not increase the budget. This is my meager $23 budget with my meager supplies. So it's showing that not only can one person eat pretty well, but they can also feed somebody else. It's just like having company over every single meal. Anyways, don't forget to stay tuned to the end of the video. I laid out all of the groceries and all the supplies that I have in one shot so that you could see how impactful the quantity of groceries that I have left over really is. Thanks for tuning in. Protein peanut butter balls for breakfast. These are the last 3, so we are going to split them and we will each have 1.5 for breakfast today. French onion soup for lunch today. It smells fabulous. The sprouts are doing good. I still feel like there's an awful lot of unsprouted seeds in here, but we're starting to get some green. These ones are getting bigger. Exciting to see the progress. Smoothie for breakfast today. It's the last banana, yogurt, some oat nog, some Hascap jam, and spinach. Smoothie for breakfast today. The spinach, so the mostly eaten container of spinach. I need to eat that up right away. I kind of had planned on starting on the grapefruits, but I need to finish up that spinach before I lose it. Or maybe I could just pop it in the freezer. That's an option. I could pop that right in the freezer. And today, smoothie is just for one person, just for me. French onion soup for lunch today. We're going to have air fried chicken thighs tonight. I am going to cook 4 for us. That leaves 5 left, which I am going to package up in. I might do 4 in a package and then 1 separate. For, I don't know, separate for what? I'm not sure, but I don't think that we would need 5 in a meal, and that just gives me an option for something else without having them frozen together in a big clump. I don't have any coating on the chicken, so I have used parsley and the multi-spice that I have, and they're just gonna air fry like that. They're gonna be delicious. We have scalloped potatoes left from last week, so I want to use that up and use that as a side. I have just peeled and sliced 1 potato only. I am going to cook these ones in the microwave. There was lots of the broth, not broth, but sauce. There was lots of the sauce that went into this container. So I'll just merge this 1 potato in with the leftovers, and then that'll be enough for us for a side to go with the chicken. And we are also going to have California blend vegetables, which is the broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots. Okay, I'm going to merge the freshly cooked potatoes in with the scalloped potatoes and the sauce, and then we'll pop it in the oven to crisp it up. This was a good idea, merging just one extra potato in with this. It's coming along really good, and the chicken's almost done. This looks so darn good. Wow. Can't wait. Air fried chicken thighs, scalloped potatoes, and vegetables. Looks really, really good. Smells incredibly delicious, incredible. I am really looking forward to this. I'm hungry. And the dog is playing. Normally when I'm cooking a whole chicken, I get an awful lot of benefits from the chicken. So this was just chicken thighs. So the bones are here, and I've also started putting in veggie scraps, and I scraped every last bit of dripping off of the pan. I'm going to put this in the fridge, and once it solidifies, then I am also going to pop this into the freezer, and this will be the beginnings of making a broth for a future soup. Today is day 1 of grapefruits for breakfast. It's pretty exciting. I had not had grapefruit in years, like so many years I can't even remember, before that second week on the challenge when I ate them out of the flash food box. And it made me realize how much I really actually enjoy grapefruit. I've been thinking about it since then. I was able to get a phenomenal price this week, $2.50 for the marked down bag. It's $2.49 actually. And there's 5 of them. So if we each have a half each day, that gives us 5 days of breakfasts. Pretty awesome. These are looking better and better each day. I've already rinsed these and they're drying. And I've got the bottles laid down flat. And maybe that's something I shouldn't do, but yeah, just look at how many unsprouted. Maybe I'll get them out of there. For lunch, I am making breaded chicken strips, and we are each going to have one on the leftover wraps that I have out of the taco kit. We'll have them with either spinach or lettuce and whatever toppings we choose. For lunch, we are having breaded chicken wraps. So lettuce, tomatoes, and on mine there is relish and ketchup. On the handsome ones, lettuce, tomato, and mayo. And we both have some grapes for a side. Tonight for supper, we are having breakfast for supper. These are squash waffles that I made maybe week 3, maybe 2, and I've had them in the freezer. We're going to have scrambled eggs to go with it. I've got 3 eggs and milk whisked here, and I'm going to scramble them up. I added pepper and parsley. Breakfast for supper tonight, we have squash waffles and scrambled eggs. I topped the waffles with margarine, and this is homemade maple syrup that we made last spring. Feeling like a little snack, so I'm going to have some grapes. Grapefruit for breakfast today. Yesterday's was really good. Yummy. The sprouts are still doing good. This is where my inexperience in sprouting comes in. I'm not quite sure when to stop the sprouting and when to start the eating. Soon, another day or 2 max, I think. French onion soup for lunch today, and a couple pieces of toasted bread each. I just want to make sure that we use this bread up before we lose it, because of course there's no preservatives in homemade bread. I am going to cook the little pork roast that I've had in the freezer. Pork loin, sirloin roast. It's boneless. I'm going to use this seasoning that I got for Christmas. I am supposed to add 1 cup of beef stock, half a cup of chopped onion and apple. I have onion. I don't have an apple, so I'm just going to throw in an orange because it'll give that sweet flavor as well. And I do have bouillon cubes, so I'm just going to throw this into the slow cooker. Okay. We decided, since the roast is so small, only going to use half of the seasoning. Get that all stirred in. I don't know, maybe I should have added the whole amount. We'll see. I was going to use one of my oranges, and then the handsome one shared that he had a quite old apple in the fridge that he would be willing to give me. So this has seen some better days, but we are going to peel this up and we're going to use this, and thank you for the apple. Since you've been eating off of my $23, I feel fine with this. We got the apple in there, onion in there, and let's got everything stirred in, and let's get this in the oven. I transferred into this smaller container once the roast was no longer frozen, and I'm going to start kind of pulling this apart and then put it back in to cook some more. This is the last of those hot dog buns that I made. So what I am going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to try to slice it so that I can use it as pulled pork buns. This looks really fantastic. Once I shredded it, it looks wonderful, smells really good. I've also made mashed potatoes, carrots, and peas. Let's get this plated up. Pulled pork, open-faced sandwiches. So I decided to do 2 little open-faced sandwiches instead of one closed, with mashed potatoes, carrots, and peas. Smells delicious, and I'm hungry. Can't wait to try it. Meals really are what you make of them. This was a tiny, tiny, tiny pork roast. $2.94. We just ate a fabulous meal. I'm stuffed. The handsome one is stuffed. And there is enough here easily for the exact same amount that we just had for another meal, and probably like random some other thing that I might use it for. But like, that was a lot of meat. You don't have to have huge, expensive cuts of meat, large quantities, to have a delicious meal. We just paired it with some sides that we liked. Mashed potatoes, you could have done home fries or French fries or baked potatoes. We had 2 vegetables with it. We cooked 1 carrot and some frozen peas. I mean, the meals really are what you make of them. You're buying the things that are on sale that you like, and you're pairing it with sides that work for you and your family. This entire meal probably cost, so $2.94 for the pot roast, and maybe, let's say, 25 cents for the carrot, and perhaps 25 cents for the potatoes, and let's say 50 cents for the peas. So $3.94, and we've eaten. There's this much meat left over, plus there is some leftover mashed potatoes and peas in the fridge. We did eat all the carrots. Yummy grapefruits for breakfast again today. I am actually quite enjoying these grapefruits for breakfast. Nice change. What a big difference the bean sprouts just from yesterday to today. Those are looking really good. I did a double rinse of this one today. I need to set this up so that it drains even more, but I think I'm going to try to get those out of there today. I think that's what today's job will be. French onion soup for lunch today, and 1 slice of toasted homemade bread each. This is the last of the homemade bread, so I need to decide if I want to make a new one today or wait a couple days. I tend to make bread based on what I'm going to have it with. I would like to have some rolls because we have leftovers of the pulled pork, and that would be great with rolls. So that might sway my decision process. I'm going to harvest my alfalfa sprouts today. I've got them rinsed in a bowl of water, and I am just going to scoop them out. This is what I have. I've got them spread out. They're drying here. Yeah. I didn't harvest the bean sprouts yet. They're not ready. So I thawed one of the ground beef packages that I subdivided into the freezer. And this is just under a half a pound of ground beef. I have spaghetti. I've got pasta sauce. I am going to add mushrooms and green peppers, onions, and spices. I'm excited. I have the ground beef cooked with onions and mushrooms, peppers. I'm going to put half of this in with my pasta sauce, and I'm going to save the other half for another recipe. I've added about between a half and 2/3 of the jar of pasta sauce. I added some oregano. I still need to add the parsley and some of my mystery spice. I've got my water on to boil. I'm going to get my spaghetti in. Spaghetti with meat sauce topped with sprouts. And I have this much of the meat mixture left that I'm going to use for a different recipe. I'm extremely excited. This is just a meal for one because the handsome one does not like spaghetti. So he is on his own tonight, just eating from the house supplies, and I'm having this. Yummy. This is what I mean when someone leaves it behind. It's just dangling here. They have driven off and left it. So now I am at $4.72 with my found coupon, and I'm going to get gas now. And I'm literally, the fast fuel is right in the parking lot, right next door to Sobeys, and then I'm going to pop into Sobeys and see what I can get. I'm at Sobeys. I have 4 fast fuel coupons plus the 45 cents that I have left. I have 5 wish list items that I am going to look at and see in here just to kind of see. Some of them really should be like, one should be Dollarama, one should be the Bulk Barn, but I'm going to check them out in here anyways and just see what I have and what I'm able to get with my money. It's always good to have coupons. This was one of my wish list items, but geez, not on sale at $2.49. I do not know if I want to spend my money on that. I'm gonna have to think about it. I do really like these Clubhouse packages because it's not just chili seasoning. There's like other spices in it as well. Okay, I gotta think about it. The cheapest chili powder is $4.79, and I definitely don't want to spend that much. I keep turning this over in my mind. Spices and herbs, wheat starch, dehydrated onions, salt, dehydrated garlic. This was my biggest wish list item. It was their baby Brussels sprouts, and the bag's 750 grams. And I know that I can get vegetables cheaper than this, but I can't get these vegetables. I can't get specialty vegetables. I would like to have some bananas. I am going to look for the cart with the baking bananas. I decided to get the Brussels sprouts and some marked down baking bananas. The fast fuel coupon that I had was only around 70 cents. So it took me a couple tries with the bananas to get one that was just the right amount to maximize without going over. But what that allowed me to do is I didn't have to spend my found coupon, and I'm going to carry this forward to next week. I still also have my 45 cents. Now that I have bananas again, we can have a little variety with our breakfasts, and I am back to some smoothies for breakfast this morning. Smoothies for breakfast. I didn't do a very good job of documenting the dough today. So we made dough in the bread maker. I'm going to divide this into 2/3 and 1/3. I'm going to make bread in the oven. And with the 1/3, I'm going to make some buns so that we can have buns for our pulled pork leftovers. So 1 loaf of bread in the loaf pan and 4 rolls. We'll get those right in the oven. The bread turned out fantastic as well. This looks really good. French onion soup and grapes for lunch today. For supper tonight, we are going to have leftover pulled pork on the fresh rolls that I made. There's leftover mashed potatoes in the fridge and a few peas, but we'll need to make some veggies to go with it. Pulled pork sandwiches for supper tonight on homemade buns, and there was actually more potatoes and peas left over than what I had remembered, so I didn't make anything new. We are just making do with this for tonight. And actually, it's quite a bit of food. I'm sure we'll be very satisfied. These buns are everything that the hot dog buns were not. These turned out super phenomenal. I'm really happy. This is delicious. Smoothies for breakfast again this morning. I'm really, really happy that I was able to get those bananas. I want to be able to use up the spinach in smoothies specifically, the last little bit that was in that opened container. So from yesterday and today, and I have enough left for another smoothie, but I'm going to pop it in the freezer. I just want to make sure that it lasts because I can put frozen spinach in, no problem. Smoothies for breakfast today. I've got my spinach set aside. I'm going to pop this in the freezer, and that'll make sure that it lasts for those future smoothies. And let's take a look at the sprouts. These are the bean sprouts. I'm still a little unsure of when I actually eat those. I think I'm going to let them go a little longer. And I am going to start more alfalfa sprouts today. I rinsed them twice. I'm going to have them soak overnight inside my cupboard in a dark space. The last of the French onion soup for lunch today. We are having homemade bread with it, and the handsome one said he wanted to have peanut butter on his bread, and so I thought, you know what? I'm going to have peanut butter on my bread too. And it's toasted. For supper tonight, we are having spaghetti with meat sauce. I might throw a few little leaves of spinach in with my spaghetti just because I have some. Spaghetti for supper tonight. Yummy. This is everything I have left over after the end of week 8. Quite a few items. Let's get started. I have left ketchup, lactose-free milk, mayo, oat nog, bananas, romaine lettuce, iceberg lettuce, and down in there, that is a full unopened package of spinach. I have 3 lemons, some eggs, margarine, a tomato, yogurt, garlic. I have carrots, 2 grapefruit, 2 oranges, onions, and about half of the grapes left. I have a full block of unopened cheese, some cheese slices. I have hot dogs. These are all of the little bits and bobs that I have from the bulk barn. There are beans, split peas, oatmeal, a bunch of variety of spices. I have lots of leftovers this week. Down there on the bottom, that is leftover pulled pork. That's leftover prepared spaghetti sauce. I obviously was a little aggressive with the quantity of spaghetti that I cooked because I have leftover spaghetti. This is half of the ground meat mixture that I made when I made the spaghetti sauce. That is going to be for another recipe. Half of a can of cream of mushroom soup, and that is the drippings that I got when I cooked the chicken. There are 7 boxes of Kraft Dinner, yeast, sunflower oil, peanut butter, canned flakes of ham, a can of diced tomatoes in the bottom there. I have an unopened can of pasta sauce, an unopened can of tomato soup, and a full eggnog or oat nog. I have this half opened, I'm going to say there's probably about a third left in that of pasta sauce. I have a half package of macaroni, or maybe a third, a half a package of fusilli, a full package of fusilli, plus spaghetti noodles. I have this much left over of that pulled pork seasoning that I got as a Christmas present. I have bouillon. This is taco sauce, taco seasoning. I have squash, so frozen vegetables. I have squash, green beans, mini Brussels sprouts, California mix, peas, and these are winter vegetables, which is cauliflower and broccoli. I have all-purpose flour, potatoes, a half a package of nacho chips, one squash pancake left, or squash waffle left, three pork chops, boneless pork chops, chicken strips, the spinach that I froze, a piece of pepperoni, and then I have sausages, and sausages. 1, 2, 3 packages of ground beef. This is frozen milk, frozen pasta sauce, and this is cooked chicken breast. 1 chicken thigh, a pack of 4 chicken thighs. This is broth and frozen strawberries. Amazing that I've eaten, and I feel pretty well. I feel like I've eaten pretty well, and I have accumulated this much for pantry. It's getting difficult to store everything, especially the frozen items. I need to be very mindful of that. We had a great week of meals. I was really happy with everything. We had spaghetti. I mean, how can you not be happy with spaghetti? And the chicken thighs were a really nice change for this week as well. I really enjoyed that. We've got out some of those squash pancakes or waffles that I had made and put in the freezer a couple weeks ago. It was just a really good week. We finished up the French onion soup, so I'm going to have to think of something else for soups for lunches, but we're doing great. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I would really appreciate it if you would do so. It would help me. Thank you.